Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode where I get to spotlight local businesses on their business, what they love about their community, and just kind of learning from everyone else on their journey in business and where they are so far. So I'm super excited to have my guest, Donald, with us today. Donald, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thanks
Of
for having me.
Yeah, of course. Well, Donald and I connected through our BNI. It's called a round table. So a few different chapters, a part of our networking group, all meet together, and I was able to meet with him, and then he met with a few of my family members. So I've heard a lot about him throughout the past week. So I'm very excited to kind of showcase a little bit about his expertise, his story, and his journey. So why don't you kick us off and just tell us a little bit about your journey coming up here to Jacksonville?
Well, I was born and raised in Miami, and COVID kind of brought me here along with my son. He was going to University of North Florida,
Mm.
and my wife and I ended up buying a house here so we can be closer to the university to stop by and see him. We could have a place to bring our doodles and to lay our heads. And one thing led to another. COVID normalized, and our company said that they gave all employees the option, do you want to predominantly work at home or predominantly work in the office? And my team said they wanted to work remote. The traffic in Miami is, in fact, worse than Jacksonville. So I decided to work remote as well. And one thing led to another, and we decided to pack up the bags and, just like Jethro says, move to Beverly. No, move to Jacksonville. So here we are.
Yeah, Jacksonville can be our Beverly Hills.
Yeah, right.
That's so funny. And the Miami traffic thing is so true. I've only driven in Miami once, and that it's
It's only getting worse.
a skill, I think. You have to like really know how to drive in Miami. Like
Yeah.
it's not something that just anyone can do. It's not for the weak. But I
Yeah.
would love for you to share a little bit about what you do, and what you do now.
So I work for Risk Strategies, which is a commercial and personal lines insurance brokerage firm. I specialize in commercial insurance. I don't do personal lines or life or health or anything like that. I love working with businesses. So I've been doing that for 33 years and getting to know Jacksonville and St. Augustine and other areas around it and trying to get entrenched in the community. And there you have it. So been doing insurance and love it.
What got you into insurance?
Ah, my mom was in insurance for a very long time. She was an insurance agent with a local agency in Miami, and they were going to, I think they were selling or merging with another firm in Broward County. So she didn't want to move to Broward, and so she ended up opening up her own office. And she kind of suggested that I look at taking my life license, and I wasn't really didn't really like life insurance too much, but I took the test and passed it. And she said, you really should get your property and casualty license. So I did that, and the instructor was awesome, great instructor, and I started working with my mom's office, and I sat at each person's desk learning what they did. The last desk that I sat at was in front of my mom's desk, and she would take me on appointments, and I would listen to her speak on the phone and in person to clients. And she wasn't selling insurance, she was educating
Mm.
her clients, and that was the golden rule that I learned. Educate your clients, help your clients, and the magic will happen. So,
Wow, that's so awesome. That's such
yeah,
a beautiful story, especially because it was obviously your mom, and that brings, I think, a level of kind of gravitas
yeah.
to insurance. What do you like the most about, your specific line? Because there are a lot of obviously lines of insurance, and I think you might
Oh,
have
sure.
even a license for some of them as well. So what makes property commercial especially so special to you?
Well, I gravitated towards this after working at different agencies
Mm.
and really love working with business owners, learning about what they do, learning about their challenges, learning uh, how they operate their business, because everyone is different. Everyone operates a business differently, and I like helping them. A lot of business owners, they don't know insurance. They know a little bit. Some know more than others, obviously, but um, so I have gravitated towards commercial businesses. They're different. I have met and insured many different types of businesses, ranging from a small office to a large condominium to a caviar manufacturer where they had huge
Wow.
vats of sturgeon swimming around and around. And so that they each risk has different challenges for protecting their assets.
Wow. That's so, I was just
Yeah,
about to say, I'm sure you've insured some pretty unique companies. So
it was
I
pretty, yeah.
are all of the, I mean, not to actually talk about the actual, obviously, insurance, but are all of them a little bit different in the sense of you really have to learn what the business is and what they really need to write them the best policy?
I believe so,
Mhm.
because some businesses have different exposures, like the caviar manufacturer or harvester. If one of their tanks go down and it stops uh, generating the flow of water, then the sturgeon could die and they could lose
Wow.
money. So there's
Yeah.
different business interruption, different coverages, equipment breakdown that some other businesses might not have that exposure.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah, I mean that totally makes sense. It's kind of crazy because obviously if you have never thought about this before, like I've never, it's so fun in my opinion to learn about how different businesses operate and different things they have to take into account than other businesses who have to take this into account or that into account. So, oh my gosh, that's so
yeah.
fun. So a lot of it, like you mentioned, is going to different businesses, and I'm sure you've just connected with so many different types here in Jacksonville. What are some of the best ways that you've been able to connect with people? Any groups you joined or anything like that? Like I know we're both part of BNI.
So I started the third chapter of BNI in Miami-Dade County.
Oh,
Two
wow.
of my coworkers started the first and second because at that time there weren't any one person per profession networking organizations in
Mm,
Miami-Dade County. I always tried, and my coworkers always tried to get into Latip, Progress Club, Profit Inc., and our positions were always filled. So when I learned about BNI and my coworker started the first one, it was a race between Gail and myself to start the second and third one. And at that time, you had to have at least 20 to start a new chapter, which that's not easy to put together. But it was awesome. It was awesome. So BNI is a great networking tool that I have. It not only enables me to get referrals, but it enables me to refer those businesses to my clients. So it's a win-win situation. The other organization that I'm involved in is the Rotary Club. That's a long-term relationship building, but it's a community driven organization. They help the local community and third world issues and communities around, wherever that Rotary Club wants to focus their needs and their efforts. So those are two organizations, the Rotary Club of Mandarin in Jacksonville here, and then also my BNI chapter.
wow. And starting a BNI chapter is not easy. And I know that because recently my mom was a part of launching a BNI. And I know that they just technically started, even though they've been meeting for a very long time, because it takes a very decent amount of time to gather the people. And then another thing is everyone goes through training for it as well. I'm sure you experienced that as well.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Lots of training.
Lots of training. Even if you're just looking to be a member, you're also a part of the training. So that's like huge hats off to you. That's not an easy
Thank
feat
you.
at all. What have you liked the most? Like, is there any like fun BNI success story you've had either in Miami or in Jacksonville?
Definitely. When I first started the BNI chapter, uh, it is category specific. So
Mm-hmm.
I, at that time, was and still am licensed in life insurance and health insurance. The commercial, well, property insurance or the insurance role in general can be split into personal and commercial for homeowners and auto, and then business. And so, in order to foster the premise of BNI, which is giver's gain, I gave up my other positions and only focused on commercial insurance. And that's really when I turned to just commercial only. And so I gave at that time was a Denise Gonzalez in our group. She was with I think it was called the Money Group or something like that. So she wrote health insurance, and I gave her several commercial businesses that I had, the referred her in for the health insurance, and she ended up giving me a referral to an FAA repair station in the Miami International Airport, and their workers' comp policy alone was $400,000. So
Wow.
yeah, so BNI works. If you give, you will receive. So that's it's a golden rule that I try to focus on.
Yeah, that is an amazing story. Oh my gosh, getting referred to the airport is absolutely crazy. So that's awesome. And I think a very big part of that you mentioned of it, is that you weren't focused on yourself. Like, I don't think you really had an idea. Like, you weren't like, oh, Denise is definitely going to refer me to this airport now that I gave
Yeah,
her the
I
spot.
know.
That was not in your mind whatsoever. And I know that there are several people in my chapter that I'm thinking that are just like that, where they're just looking to give and they're just looking to help other businesses, and anyone they'll connect they will. So that's awesome, for especially for someone as new to BNI as I am. I'm still barely a year in. That's a really great story, so I appreciate you taking the time to share that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Donald, for coming on, spending a few minutes with me, sharing so many amazing stories. You have the airport one, you have the caviar. Like, I feel like I just learned so much. So thank you so much for that time. I really appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. And to everyone watching, I really appreciate you as well, and I'll see you next time.